Hi, everybody. This is Alan Dowsell. On today's live podcast, what I want to do is I want to talk about how AI is impacting the future of work. And I want to look at the downside. I want to look at the upside. I also want to look at the steps to be ready. If you're a CPO, if you're a HR leader, if you're a learning and development leader, what are the steps that we need to be thinking about to get ready for the impact that AI is going to have on 300 million employees? This is the number that Goldman Sachs is predicting are going to be affected by AI. Now, Kristalina Georgieva, she phrases it like this. She's the managing director of the IMF, and she says that artificial intelligence, AI, is hitting the global labor market like a tsunami. We have very little time to get ready, and businesses ready for it. A tsunami is coming our way. So let's drill into the data and understand the impact that AI is going to have across the different landscapes of industries and organizations that we're working in. The piece of data that I navigate myself towards more than any other piece of research that has come out is the data that was published in an article by City Research entitled AI in Finance, Bot Banks and Beyond. AI in Finance, Bots, Banks and Beyond. You can find it. It was published by City Research a while ago. But in that research, there was some data that was published by Accenture. And what Accenture did was they looked at the impact of AI on industries by industry. And the way this works, if we take banking right at the top here, the blue bar, the 54% here, represents the potential that AI has towards automating work within banks. The automation of work within banks. 54% of work is predicted to be automated by AI, according to Accenture. And then the lighter blue here is the potential of AI to augment work. So we've got automate work and augment work, and then the gray is lower potential, the low potential of work that's going to be impacted by AI. But what it's saying here for banks is almost 2/3 of work within banks. 2/3 of work within banks is either going to be automated or is going to be augmented by AI. AI is going to have a huge impact on banks. And you can look up and down the list of industries here, and you can get a gauge for the likely impact of AI on your industry. And you might be saying to yourself, yes, Alan, but I work in financial services, and is this banks? What about my vertical? Within the financial services sector, surely my numbers are going to be different. My data is going to be different. Well, yes, it potentially could be. But one of the things they do in the essential work is they look at industry average. Look at the industry average here. The average impact of AI on work across all industries is about 40%. It's about 40%. And you can start to, see some great examples of this. Microsoft just published a really, really good article on some work they've been doing with their Copilot product, a company called Dow Chemicals, identifying millions of dollars of cost savings at Dow through using their Copilot product. It's a really interesting case study because at Dow, one of the things that happens there is they have hundreds of thousands of invoices. Hundreds of thousands of invoices are flowing in through their email system, into their email system from their suppliers. Hundreds of thousands of invoices. And it takes them weeks and months to compare those invoices, the amounts that are being charged by their suppliers, by their vendors. It takes them weeks and months to compare the data in the invoices versus what's in the contract. And it's a manually intensive task. They have, lots and lots of financial analysts working on making sure that, what's in the contract actually equates to what's in the invoices, because this can cost them millions and millions of dollars. And AI comes along and it transforms that whole process, because literally within seconds, within minutes, AI is detecting discrepancies between contracts and invoices. Discrepancies that would never previously before been detected by humans. And then there's the work that Jörg Lenglotz does at UBS Bank. He's published some great articles about how AI is impacting the work at UBS. His latest article is called AI, the AI Revolution in Asset Management. Now, AI is actually buying and selling stocks on behalf of their clients. Imagine that. AI is now automatically, an AI agent is automatically buying and selling your stocks in your portfolio or in the portfolios of the clients that they manage. It's doing it automatically. So it doesn't matter whether it's banking or it's Dow Chemicals in industrial. AI is having a big impact. Look at insurance. Look at insurance for a second. The Boston Consulting Group looked at the impact of AI on jobs in the claims departments in insurance companies. And it found that 40% of jobs in claims departments are going to shrink. They're going to disappear. It's even a greater number in their policy management departments. 70% of the work done by policy management, jobs in policy management, is going to shrink, it's going to disappear. Now let's put this data in the context of jobs. In banking, let's go back to that previous slide. In banking, we can expect to see 702,000 jobs in the US banking sector basically automated out of existence because of AI. 702,000 jobs in the US banking sector. In insurance, it's going to be 268,000. In media and entertainment, it's going to be 203,000. Creative jobs in media and entertainment, automated out of existence because of AI. And it goes on and on and on, industry by industry, organization by organization, jobs that are going to be automated out of existence because of AI. And then there's the McKinsey's research. McKinsey looked into occupations that are potentially going to be impacted the most by AI. They call these declining occupations that are stalled but rising occupations that are going to be impacted by AI, and resilient and what they call growing occupations that are going to be impacted by AI. And they looked at the extent of these different profiles of occupations that are going to be impacted by AI, and they found that in the US, about 12 million occupations are going to be impacted by AI. And of those 12, 10 million are in occupations like office support, customer service and sales, production work, food services work, white collar types of occupations. If you're sitting at that desk in JP Morgan and you're looking at this and saying, hey, it's not going to affect me so much. Well, there's going to be, over 1 million people affected by AI in STEM related occupations. Now they called these career occupations, or they called these employees in these occupations, career transitioners. These are employees who are going to be projected to be looking for new occupations between now and 2030. And these numbers are going up, 12 million in the US, another 12 million in Europe. We got another 1 million in Australia, and so it goes on. And every time I read a piece of research, the numbers are going up. But my question is, where are these transitioners going to go? Where are they going to go? Where are they going to go? Where are they going to transition to? So hold that thought for a second. And I want to look at the US jobs market. I want to look at jobs. This is the number of jobs that are being added in the US from 2021 through to kind of now. And I don't want to talk about individual months, because in individual months we can see, last month it was only as low as 12,000. This month, actually today, they announced 200 odd thousand jobs have been added. We can kind of add these. Hang on, we can add these numbers in here, kind of thing like this, a little bit higher there. What's important, I think, is the trend. Look at the trend here from 21 through to 24. The trend is like a waterfall. Every single year, the number of jobs that's being added in the US is going down. It's going down. In decline. And I expect to see this this decline continuing into 2025, partly because of AI. And then there's separations. Are employees separating from their employers? Are they leaving? Are they leaving? And the answer to that question is no. Employees are staying with their employers. We had this period of the Great Resignation, didn't we, where everyone was resigning and moving on. Now, it's what they refer to as the big stay, because employees are staying with their employers much longer. Let's hold that thought for a second. Let's come back to the jobs. We'll talk about the jobs for a second again. Look at the number of career transitioners here, millions and millions of employees that left their jobs and transitioned to something else, moved. Millions of them in 2021. So millions of employees were taking on new careers in new organizations, 2021. So let's call that year one. Now, those year oneers are now what I refer to as year threeers. Year threeers, in year one, we're kind of getting onto the job, we're getting into the job. Year two, we start putting in place new programs, new strategies, etc. And year three, we start to reap the rewards. We're knocking the ball out of the ballpark in year three. And then what happens in year four? We get to kind of, here, year three, and now we're in year four, and we're thinking about what's next. What's next? So think about this for a second. We've got all these year threeers. We've got the 25 million career transitioners. 25 million career transitions. It's like the perfect storm of career transitioning. We've never seen, this scale of career transitioning, in the workforce ever in history on this scale. Millions and millions and millions of employees in our organizations are going to be looking to transition their careers. And here's the nuance that's so important, I think, to consider. Going back to the jobs data, employees are staying. They're not leaving, which means that career transitioning is going to happen internally. Millions of employees looking to transition their careers internally within our organizations, not externally, internally. And just think about the pressure that's going to put upon CPOs, upon HR leaders, learning development leaders. The pressure is coming. I call it the unstoppable career wave. It's unstoppable, it's coming. Going back to Kristalina at the beginning, it's like a tsunami. It's a career transitioning tsunami that's coming. Hold that thought. Because then there's the other side of the coin, isn't it? AI is a job catalyst. It's a job catalyst. And so what types of new jobs will emerge as a consequence of AI? I go back to Jorg at UBS Bank. He wrote an article, a really good article recently called AI in Finance, Job Destroyer, Job Catalyst. The surprising truth. This article, you can find Jorg and his articles on LinkedIn. Really good stuff. One of the interesting things that he talked about in his last article, he said this: many new career paths emerge. This dynamic shift creates exciting opportunities for employees willing to adapt and grow within their organization, within the industry. That really kind of got me thinking about, well, what types of new opportunities are there going to be for growth? And he even lists out examples. In one of his articles, he talked about some of these new, jobs that are emerging, these new career pathways that are emerging. AI ethics officers, look, financial machine learning engineers, AI human interaction specialists. Whoa, I'd like to be one of those. Quantitative data scientists, AI compliance analysts, algorithmic trading strategists, AI-enabled financial product innovators. Is the Magnificent Seven, as I refer to it. But here's the thing, notice of the seven, 5 of the 7 have AI in the job title. 5 of the 7. AI or ML, machine learning, in the job title. And I think we're going to see much more of this. It doesn't matter if we're at Dow Chemicals, it doesn't matter if we're at UBS or JP Morgan, it doesn't matter if we're at Microsoft, it doesn't matter what organization we might be in, it doesn't matter if we're a smaller company. In 2025, we're going to see the emergence of the job title that I refer to as AI ... AI ... AI ... AI compliance officers. Those Dow Chemicals, those people that are manually looking at invoices will become, AI compliancy officers, AI invoice compliancy officers. But will they need as many of them as they have today? Probably not. And that's why I think this statement is so interesting from Rourke. 4 employees willing to adapt and grow. You're willing to adapt and grow, then there's exciting times ahead. But, here's an interesting thing. We have a responsibility, I think, as CPOs, as HR leaders, learning and development. I think we have a responsibility as a communicator to support them, to help them adapt and grow. There's a monumental reskilling effort that is starting. This unstoppable career wave, really what it is a monumental reskilling effort that we need to put in place for these career transitioners to help them transition from what they were doing to these new exciting careers within our companies. But the story doesn't stop there. I mean, look at this. This is Mark Benioff. If you ever, well, I'm sure you have, you've listened to, Mark talk in his quarterly conference calls. In actual fact, the Salesforce quarterly results conference call was just this week. And it's really, really interesting to listen to Mark talk. I mean, he's a great salesperson, but on the last call, he made this comment. He said that 1 billion AI agents, it refers to them as sales and service agents, will be in operation by the end of fiscal year 2026. 1 billion, they refer to it as their agent force. Just think about that for a second. 1 billion. There's a lot of AI agents out there in sales, in customer service, client services, in asset management, in Dow Chemicals, managing these invoices that are coming, 100,000 of invoices coming through. These might be completely automated AI agents, or they might be, semi-automated agents. My question is, who's managing the agents? Who's managing the agent force? And I think the answer to that question is these career transitioners, these millions and millions of career transitioning into new types of careers. And one of the fundamental aspects of these new careers is going to be managing AI agents. The management of 1 billion sales and service AI agents. The creation, the monitoring, the governance of these agents, creation and testing of the prompts that you need to set up so the agents know what actions you want them to take, quality control, really looking at the outcomes. Are we getting the outcomes that we expect? Collaborating back with the AI team, with the technology teams, with IT. Collaborating with IT, collaborating with the AI team to make sure that these agents are, doing what we expect them to do. Of course, I come back to my fundamental point. This is going to require a monumental reskilling effort to move these career transitioners from their current jobs to these new careers. So this leads me to the steps to be ready. And I think there's 4 steps. There's 3 main steps, and then there's kind of an outcome type step. The first step is all about understanding the disruption that's coming. And what types of career transitioning, impact do we have within our industry, within our organization? Is it going to impact, 10 employees, 100 employees, 1,000 employees? What are the pain points, the business pain points that AI agents, semi-autonomous agents are going to be put to work to impact? What are those processes that AI is going to be put to work on? Therefore, who are the employees that are going to be most impacted? What new career pathways might we need to put in place to move employees who are most impacted by AI into some of these new career pathways? What are those career pathways? And thirdly, what are the skills that they're going to require? So you've got understanding the landscape, the disruption. Then you've got really thinking about what are the new career pathways we need to put in place to move people towards these, higher value yielding jobs, whereby part of what they're going to be doing, maybe part of what they're going to do is going to be managing agents. What do these career pathways look like? What are the new skills that they're going to need? And then we get over here to the left, which is higher performance. We do all of this because there's an outcome, which is higher business performance. But there's costs associated with that. The cost of, transitioning employees, the cost of reskilling employees, the cost maybe of, having to let some employees go, the payroll costs, the, COBRA insurance costs, the costs of helping them to find new positions outside of the company. And then there's the costs associated with kind of, the leveling that's going on, because you've got your best and brightest performers up here. And one of the things that AI is going to do is going to close the gap between the two. And when it closes the gap such that you've got a much higher percentage of your employees now being at that best and brightest level, you've got a high percentage of employees that are going to be looking to be paid more, paid at the best and brightest level. What are the costs associated with that? So HR, are you ready? Have you formulated your roadmap? Are you thinking about what the steps are? What's the ordering of the right ordering for the steps for you? There might be some steps that I'm missing here that are really important for you, but are you starting to, build your framework towards AI actually, becoming a reinvention of the business catalyst for our organization, driving higher performance, driving higher proficiency? And do we have a handle on what the cost implications of that are going to be? Are you ready? All right. Well, we've come to the end of the session. I hope what I've been through has been interesting, insightful. I have a blog that I write regularly. You can find it at reaching4.ai, or you can find my articles on my LinkedIn profile. I refer to my blog as the Unstoppable Career Wave, and I'd be delighted if you go to reaching4.ai and sign up for the blog. And I'll start making sure that I send through the very latest articles to you. All right, well, thanks for joining the session, and I will see you next time. Thank you.